What to do if your supervisor just disappeared? Like you have no support from them, you do not hear feedback from them, and you are basically self-coaching yourself throughout the PhD. So I wanted to do a video about that because I feel it's very important to make this issue visible. And I found that a very common issue, especially in my work with my clients, which are PhD students. I would say that 80% of them have some sort of issue with the supervisor, whether that is them being absent or them not being interested enough in their research, or them being, I don't know, doing another thing but not actually supporting their PhD students, and so on. So if this is you, I want to tell you that this video is for you, and I will offer some thoughts and tips on how you can overcome that situation if you feel very much alone in this entire PhD process. So first of all, I want to tell you that it's not your fault. Like if a person is not doing their job, and by definition, the job of a supervisor is to supervise and help and offer support to a PhD student, that is not your fault. But at the same time, you can also not change that, because if you decided to continue doing a PhD in that group, this is what it is. So what are some things that you can do in order to make that process easier, in order to sort of be that supervisor for yourself, and of course, how you can do so. So one of the most common mistakes that I see here is that people think that not having their supervisor present enough is going to stop their progress. And this is not true, because most of the supervisors, when I say with my clients that I work with, most of their supervisors are not 100% absent. Like they're still there now and then, but they are not hands-on offering support to their students. So what typically happens in my coaching is that we go through the entire research of my client. We see what are the results, what is the data, what is the narrative, what is the story that we're trying to tell with that research, and making it sense in a certain way, because it's very much more likely that the supervisor is going to be more responsive to you if you present some sort of options to them. Say, look, supervisor, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about doing this or that. What should I do? If you give them a choice, they are more likely to choose and actually give you some direction. Whereas if you are about to tell them, look, this is what I have, I don't know how to move forward from there, if they are not that hands-on, it's very much likely that they are not going to give you any answer, or something super vague that you can actually not use in your research. So what I do with my clients, as I said, we build those narratives, we build these options that are then presented to the supervisor so that the supervisor can choose. Of course, you cannot, something that I say to my students and my PhD clients all the time, is that you cannot force people to care, but it is much more likely that they are actually going to help you if they do not have to think about it a lot. So my strategy with my clients is always make sure that the supervisor has to think the least. Like if they don't have to think a lot, then they are much more likely to respond. So this is the strategy that I recommend, especially if you're facing this issue with the supervisor. So try to do the thinking and structuring of your research, like making sense of it before you even present it to them, because then you're much more likely to get some useful feedback and useful response, or any response at all. So if you're in that stage of your PhD in which you are completely abandoned by your supervisor, you don't know how to move forward, you have no one to talk to when it comes to brainstorming your research and taking the next steps in your research and what should you do, I want to invite you to schedule a completely free intro coaching call with me. I will leave a link down below in the description, and in that call we can discuss exactly where you're at with your research, what are your current challenges, your current struggles, and what are the exact next steps you can take in order to get a little bit closer to that finish line, whether on your own or with my help and support. So I hope that you found this video useful, and as always, see you in the next few days with another video. Bye bye.